So this effect, Gold Standard, has been something I've been working on for about a year now, and it is very, very heavily based on something called King Brand, which is a piece by the legendary Bill Goodwin, published first in Penumbra issue 1 that came out in 2002. That is an underground card magic magazine. It's very, very based on him, and I'm sure that you're going to love it. His effect, in turn, is based on a Phil Goldstein routine, which uses the first phase of both of our routines as well, and it's exceptionally genius. You'll see why in just a moment. It's based on a lot of other people's ideas and concepts as well, so I'm sure that you are going to absolutely love it. So without further ado, let us get into Gold Standard. Hey guys, this is my really good friend Jay. He's here to help us out with this effect that I like to call Gold Standard. So Jay, nice to have you here, bud.
Let's do it, man. Yeah.
Awesome. You want to start off by giving these cards a little shuffle?
Yes, sir.
Mezcla, as Juani would say. Ooh, the Egyptian shuffle. Look at that.
Start with an F.
With an F.
Some people spell it wrong.
That's true. Perfect.
Oh,
give him a cut. Final gesture.
Why not?
There it is. And we're going to use a couple cards to help us with this. They are going to be the red eights. Perfect. And the black kings. How about those? Cool.
Sweet.
So we're just going to use those 4 cards to help us with this. We don't even need the rest of the deck. Can you go ahead and put those away? Beautiful. See, it's awesome. You guys can help me out like that.
Yeah.
All right. So like I said, just the red eights and the black kings. Here's the idea. It's a little game, okay?
Perfect.
The eights start in the center of the kings. One last look. One last peep. All I have to do, though, is give them a little shake on my sleeve. Actually, the eights jump outside of the kings. Like so. Kind of neat, right? Looks kind of good. All right, you want to try it again? We'll do it a little bit more visually this time. Okay, watch. If I just shake. The kings actually jump outside the eights. Looks kind of neat, yeah?
Very neat.
Can you go ahead and hold out your hand for me? Right. Are you right-handed? Is that your dominant hand?
Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to give you the kings, but here's the thing. Actually, here. Put your other hand on top if you would. Awesome. Do you want the kings or would you prefer the eights?
I would prefer the eights.
You prefer the eights?
Yeah.
Okay, here you go then, watch. Just give a little touch and you actually get the eights. I have the kings back. Have a look.
Wait.
And there it is. Don't tell anybody.
That was really good.
Right, so Gold Standard is very heavily, as I was saying earlier, inspired by King Brand by Bill Goodwin, and this is because it's an exceptional effect, but I wanted to get rid of the duplicate, and I think that this is very important. I also wanted to make it more visual and interactive for the spectator, as well as rely on some very, very key and prevalent subtleties that we will discuss in just a moment. So what you're going to do is you'll notice by that performance that I have the deck freely shuffled by the spectator, and yet I'm able to gain the necessary cards that I need for the effect. So you're going to have them freely shuffle the cards, you're going to take them back, and you're going to spread through the cards as you take out some cards that you're going to need for the effect. Now, here's the interesting part, is you don't know what those are going to be yet. So as you spread through, you're going to take note of the top card. In this case, it's the 7 of spades. So what I'm going to do is look for the other black 7. But I also want to look for a black 6 or 8. So what I'm saying is a card that is generally similar to this card in shape and size. So like I said, you're going to find the pair, but you're going to want to find a black 7 or 8, or I'm sorry, black 6 or 8 that is in the general vicinity. Now, ideally, you'd want this card to be underneath, but it's irrelevant. You just want the X card or the indifferent card or the pseudo duplicate to be in between. So this is meant to be at the end. When you are showing the 7s in your hand, you're able to turn your hand over, hiding the index, supposedly showing that this is a 7, although it happens to be a 6 in reality. So, real quick, I'll go over that again. What you do is you just have the cards shuffled like this. Come over, you spread through, it happens to be another 7, so we'll just cut the cards, I guess. It happens to be a 5 in this case. So what I'm going to do is look for the other black 5. I see it right here. There. And perfect. I'm going to see the 4 right here, so I'm going to take that as well, saying these are the 2 black 5s, sandwiching that pseudo duplicate card in the middle. And then I'm just going to look for 2 court cards that are contrasting. So let's just use the red kings since they happen to be together. So I'm going to have these all on top of the deck, and you're ready to turn the cards over and start the actual effect. So now your setup from the top down should be 2 matching cards, and then 3 cards in a row, 2 a pair, like so, sandwiching a pseudo duplicate. So what you're going to do is spread over the top 4 cards, and then you're going to do something known as the Zero Block Edition, which links for which can be found below, excuse me. So you're going to spread over 4 cards, and as you pretend to square these cards, essentially all you do, I'll explain this in very brief detail, is thumb over this 5th card, turn them over and square like so as you table the cards. Okay? So you're only going to need these 5 cards for the effect. Essentially what you've just done is added the 5th card. Now when you're doing the Zero Block Addition, you want to take care as you come over here not to flash that 4. So in order to do this, you spread over and you're going to square down like this, so that as you bring these forward, you don't flash this pseudo duplicate underneath. So you're ready to go into the open display right now. To do this, you're going to get a break above the bottom 2 cards. You can do this by riffling or by pinky counting or pinky pull downing. It's completely up to you. I prefer pinky pull downing, but again, it is your call. So you have a break above the bottom 2. Reach into this break with your index and middle finger with your thumb on top. And you're going to spread to the side like so, using your left thumb to come down and grasp the second to last card, or actually third to last because this is a double. So again, real quick, you have 2 cards underneath the break. Index and middle finger reach in, thumb is on top. Spread all of these cards, kind of like a fan, just holding this double stationary. And you're going to retain the second to last card, apparently, showing these 2 in your hand over here. Now, here's what's going to happen. Now, I have a lot of work on doubles, so this may prove a little bit challenging. Feel free to message me if you wish. Also, purchase my lecture and eventually my Where's the Double download, or Dyson, as it happens to be called, which will help you a great deal on doubles. In the meantime, for open display, what you're going to want to do is curl in on this double so that it bends convexly, or concave, excuse me, in your hand, and you just open the fingers, which should allow that double to stay static on your palm, and it looks very fair. Now notice that no magic has actually taken place yet. This is all set up. It's very interesting. So you come back, and as you pull back, you're going to catch a break again above these bottom 2 cards. So in between this top 5 and the double beneath it. You have these over here. Turn them face up on top, just like so. And you're going to spread over the top king, and then the second king following it, reaching into the break that you have beneath, or in between these 4 cards. So 2 on top, 2 on bottom. And you're going to clip this double underneath the king. So you have a double right here. This is now a 5 and a 4. So you're going to flash the face one more time. You can't spread over because it's a different card. Flash the face, spread, and place these in between just like so. You may think that this is a precarious position, but trust me, nothing has happened yet. No one has any reason to suspect anything. And besides, it's very, very simple regardless. So come over and kind of square these front 2 cards and show the face. What they're seeing is just a 5 here. Take care not to flash this card on the bottom. And you can push in flush. What you should have now is a king on top, 2 cards in the center, which would be the 4 and the 5, a king face up underneath, and then the 5 on the bottom reversed. At this point, you just rub the cards on the sleeve as you do a twirl change, the link for which will be in the description or around here. We have a tutorial on that on the 52 cards website. I almost said 50 cards, but it's 52. There are 52 of them. Now, the coolest part about this, again, this is the Phil Goldstein phase. The coolest part about this is that doing an Elmsley count, which again, you can learn from the 52 cards website in the tutorial library, doing an Elmsley count actually cleans up the effect, because what you're going to do is essentially move this card from here to in between the 5s. Very, very cool, and super clean. So you do an Elmsley count. I will not go over that here. You can find that in the tutorial library. And as you deal the double, like I was saying before, as you deal this double, when you have 2 cards left in your hand, you feel free to spread over slightly. This exposes a 5 down here, and then you just finish here. So then you can see a very, very clear display of the sandwiched kings now. It's very magical. Feel free to do open display again if you wish, so that's not necessary. But as you're collecting, what you're going to want to do is leave this bottom double right here a little bit in-jogged. This is so that when you turn it over, you can push in and catch a break very easily underneath this double once again. And then you can take the double into your hand, like so, and just spread these cards with your left hand, pretending to spread them with both hands, pretending to do this, although you're really just going like this. Yeah. What you're now going to do is catch a break between the kings. Just put your pinky in there, like so, and execute one of the most useful sleights ever invented of all time, which is Ken Krenzel's mechanical reverse. It is just such a useful sleight. It should destroy all half passes forever because it's just amazing. Essentially, as I always describe it to my students, It's a self-working sleight. I will describe it in very brief detail here, although we really should have a tutorial for it on the 52 Cards website. I will look into that, I promise. Your pinky is going to form a pass break on the inside. What I mean by that is your entire pinky tip is going to go in between the cards. Again, you have a break underneath the top 3, above the bottom 2. Pinky goes in, and you're going to rotate the cards side for side like this. Like so. And then all that happens is you grasp everything above the break now, and your pinky and all your fingers curl in, thereby flipping over these cards. So now these cards have been reversed, which will automatically allow you to get a break beneath these 2 cards, which are a 5 and a king. You know what it's time for. It's time for the duck change. So you do the duck change, which if you don't know by now, I don't know what you're doing here. So you do the duck change, causing these cards to flip. At this point, the pinky is going to, if you do the duck change correctly, there's probably going to be a little gap beneath the changed card. And you can pick up at that gap and display these 2 cards, showing the 5 is now on the inside. Pinky pull down on 1 card. Place this double underneath the first 2 cards on top of your index and middle finger. So it's clipped by the thumb and the index and middle. So you should have a double here. You can show the 2 5s are now sandwiched by the kings. The thing is, this is also a double. Just keep that in mind. Again, be free with your doubles. No one's out to get you. You're fine. So you can show both hands. Again, I like to be free with the doubles. Now, here's the tricky, discrepant part. It's not a move, it's just procedure. Now, bear with me. What you do is you take this single card, which is a king, and you're going to square it with the pack here. You can thumb it off singly into the right hand, showing these cards, and you're going to take, and this is a readjustment grip, by the way. You're going to take the bottom 5, like so, here, taking care not to split this double, and you're going to display it. And as you place it back, you're going to pinky pull down 1 card, which should be the bottom 4, getting ready to do this really cool subtlety part. Now, as you show the 5, asking them to hold out their hand, or excuse me, as you show the kings, asking them to hold out their hands, you're going to show them from behind like this, and you're going to come forward, inserting them into that break that you've created with your pinky. So you show them here. You come forward, inserting them as you wrist kill slightly, so as to not expose that you're placing them into the break and not on top of the deck. You're going to turn over a quadruple. So this is 4 cards. These are actually 2 5s underneath 2 kings. You can spread these over, like so. Turn over 4 cards as 2. And you're going to place them in a spectator's hand. And that's just going to go like so. Now, these are actually the 5s. So you're going to ask them, the coolest part about this is when you ask them to put their other hand on top. So you go like this, put your other hand on top. And what that does is flash the fact that this is flash the suggestion that this is a 5, although it's actually a 4. So all you're doing there is using the natural grip of your hand in mechanics grip to turn over and cover the index right here. If you're left-handed, I'm sorry, this whole thing has been a waste. I guess you can do that. I don't know. You can go like this. I apologize. There's really nothing I can do. Moving on. So you turn your hand over. Your index finger is going to naturally cover this index right here. So as you say, put your other hand on top, and you peel 1 card off end. Now this is going to be a king right here. Drop the double on top as you ask them if they'd like the kings or they'd like to stay with the kings, excuse me, or have the 5s. What's really cool about this is if they say, "Oh, I'm good with the kings," then you just proceed as normal. You go, "Okay, watch," and then you do the change and you take the kings back, right? Which I will do smoother. So you're here, you take the kings back. But what's really cool about this is that you can actually turn their suggestion into an effect. So if you say no, if they say no, I'd rather have the 5s, you say, okay, then here, watch, which it implies that you're inviting them to choose the nature of the effect. It implies that they've created a new effect for themselves, which is very, very cool. And not a lot of effects can actually go into that realm. So you give them the option. Again, it won't work every time, but if they say they want to change their mind, beautiful, turns into an entirely new effect, which is just something to keep in mind. Anyway, you ask them to turn their hand, put their other hand on top, go like this, separating the hands, illustrating that you just have 2 cards, place the double on top, and then what you're going to do is thumb off a single, which is going to be a king, and then you're going to grip this double between the thumb on the non-index corner up here and the pinky on the non-index corner down here, go above and below. Again, another hand is going to be on top. And all you're going to do is tap slightly, illustrating that there's a moment that magic could have taken place or some sneaky move could have taken place, although nothing is happening, which again addresses the two perfect principle, which I will get into not in this video. It's too long. So you little tap, and all you do is rotate the card using the index finger by pushing from underneath. Again, don't split the double. You want to do this at speed. It looks like this. Right? So all you do is reveal this card by rotating it up between the thumb and index finger, or thumb and pinky rather, as you flip this one on top, taking this into your right hand, and then they can reveal the cards like so, as being the 2 5s. Thank you, hand slave. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy Gold Standard. It's a very interesting routine to perform because it does garner some very interesting reactions, as there are some really visual moments and also a very intellectually stimulating phase at the last time, or in the last phase when they appear to choose the effect for themselves. So I hope you enjoy it, respect it, practice it, and if you have any questions, my information is at the bottom in the description and on screen, I'm sure. I hope to see you soon, and have a great one. Practice, practice, practice. Perfect practice makes perfect. And thank you for tuning in to 52cards.com.